and welcome to Rolling with Two. I'm Will, and with me as always is the big kahuna herself,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a two-player perspective and accessibility for Longboard. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right, in Longboard, players draft and trade surfboard pieces as they attempt to build the tallest and most surfboards. Each turn, players take 2 actions from 3 different choices. At the end of the game, players score points for their completed longboards and any goal cards they achieved. The player with the highest total wins. All right, Will, so how does this game change for 2 players?
There are no changes. There's no Nana Kahuna bot.
No.
So he just can pretend to look like a surfboard.
All right, so the issue we really found with a 2-player game is you're just going to see fewer cards and interact with fewer cards during the course of the game.
Yeah, the game is kind of interesting in the fact that you have a main deck, and then each player has their own supply piles. It's kind of like an open hand of cards that you can easily interact with, but other players can interact with them as well. So 2 players means there's only 2 supply piles instead of a 4-player with 4 supply piles.
Right. So it just may be a little frustrating if you're trying to go for certain colors, certain numbers, those kind of things. You're going to be limited in what you can find.
Yeah.
But that was really the only issue. And then what it does well, it's kind of, how would you put it, like player count neutral in every other aspect. In other words, it's neither a great nor bad 2-player game.
Yes, it's a number game that doesn't really care who's playing it.
Right. Yep.
So there you go.
Yep. So let's move on to accessibility.
That's fast.
Yes, and typically we would find some sort of accessibility issue. We couldn't.
Oh.
So moving on to what this does well for accessibility, it is colorblind friendly. So each of the boards has a color, but also a pattern on the board so that you can easily identify the difference between them. Additionally, it's all open information.
Yep.
There's nothing in the game that's hidden. So even if you do have trouble telling something apart or reading something, somebody can help you. I think that's everything.
Yes.
Okay, so conclusion.
So for 2 players, would you recommend?
I think so. You'd have to know going in, you're not going to be able to see everything. But on the other hand, what we didn't talk about, that means there's a high replayability of being able to keep playing it and not getting stale.
Right. For me, I'd say 2-player would have to be the people who like playing number games.
That's true. That's true.
Anyone else, this would probably fall flat on. And I know that's not specifically a 2-player aspect, but it's something I feel very important about, that I can't say it's for all 2 players.
Yes.
It's for the 2 players who like the number games.
Agreed.
So that would be my only caveat for recommending it for 2 players.
Agreed.
Accessibility.
Yes, normally with these smaller card games, we run across something that is not accessible. And this one is completely accessible. So, yes.
Yeah, I think with the open information, it's the fact that I can ask, even though I might personally have challenges seeing the patterns, I can always ask Sarah. And I think anyone who does have colorblind issues, that pattern is so distinct that it's not going to be one of those cases where I have problems, so I know colorblind people will have problems.
Right, exactly. And especially since you're trying to make a board, a stack of cards that all have the same color, well, it's going to be a lot easier to see if one of them has a wrong pattern in there. So it's not like other games where you are trying to put these cards, like, I don't know, differently.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that will do it. And Sarah, you know how there are all these nicknames for surfers, like Moondoggy and things like that, the hippie beach bum names. What would your beach bum nickname be?
I have no clue. What would you call me? I don't know much about surfing, so I don't know what.
Probably just something simple like Meeple Boarder.
Okay, sure. That works for me.
Yes. And why would you ever roll with just one when you can be rolling with 2? And remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two. That's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And if you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.